Hey Arnold, the Jungle movie. Mixed. I have very mixed feelings, okay? And yeah, I'm gonna spoil it. I'm gonna talk about everything that happened because I care about everything that happened. If you don't want to be spoiled, then stop watching, watch something else. Yeah, oh my god. So, first thing you gotta know about this thing is they have different voice actors for the kids, and that really bugged me the whole time. I mean, if it didn't look like everybody, then I felt like I was watching a completely new show. I mean, yeah, they still had some of their mannerisms and some of the charm from the old show, but yeah, the voice acting was just so different because they all sounded younger. Harold was one of those shows where they just found a lot of adults with interesting voices that had like kid character bias and situations and all that. And that was fine, but in this one, it's a little more like Recess. Well, Recess had that thing too about it, but even more so where it seems like they're all child actors. And I have mixed I don't really like it, but it still succeeded and gave me a little bit of those Harold vibes. I don't know, something about this was all more fantastical than the show I watched. Like, it was just more fantastical and more of a big adventure. And that's not really what I liked about Hey Arnold. What I liked about Hey Arnold was it was about this really somber, mature kid who saw injustices in the world and kind of stayed above them with a good attitude, almost monk like. This Arnold in this movie didn't really have that. He was more feeling sorry for himself, and Arnold rarely feels sorry for himself. He was more feeling sorry for himself for the whole orphan thing, apparently. I wasn't crazy about that. He was acting more like, a damsel in distress than, the protagonist quiet hero that he's been in my childhood. And yes, he's finally achieving a personal goal, a personal dream about his parents, finally meeting them, finally finding them, finding out if they're dead or not. Personally, when Grandpa told that whole story about how, they went to, the jungle and had a grand adventure, I thought that was just an excuse for why they left him. Like maybe they're just drug addicts and, Grandpa just wanted to tell him a nice story. That's what I thought. That's honestly what I thought. I thought it was a big cover up. The journal confused me on that, and at first I thought, at the time the writers took a more Rugrats version of where, fantasy and reality kind of blend together. So yeah, I liked the story. I thought it was romantic. I thought it was exciting. So I was fine with it. Grandpa has a very interesting personality, so I was cool with it. But I don't know, this entire big episode was more fantastical. Like, the part where Eugene was that big blobby self, the whole thing was just so much more cartoonish than this cartoon ever was when I remember it. So I wasn't crazy about that. I wasn't crazy about the aspect he took. And let's see, Gerald, he used to have a deep, raspy voice, and he actually sounded more like a kid. His personality hasn't changed much. He's that loyal best friend. Back when every cartoon white male protagonist had a black best friend. Yeah, he's still that classic. He's still got that hair. I don't know, without the voice, he doesn't really tie in when he tells stories like he used to. Oh well. Let's see, I miss Stinky's voice. Everyone else is pretty much the same. Ooh, and everyone has new little outfits, like they added bow ties and coats and a more hip style, and that's fine. Okay? If it was exactly the same as the original show, I don't know. The more colorful animation it has, that would have been neat, but not necessary. So that change is fine. I can't tell how far ahead it's gone. Yeah, Rhonda has a cell phone, but I didn't really notice her texting it so much. Maybe it's a smartphone. But who in the hell would sell a beeper store in 2017? So they're leaving it very ambiguous with the age. It kind of reminded me of Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated, where everyone dressed like they were in the 60s but sell smartphones. And, they had certain connections to technology, but the style and design was very old fashioned. So, Hey Arnold is kind of ambiguous with this time period, and it's okay. Let's see. The whole story I thought was really fantastical, and that was a fun adventure. Part of me felt like I was watching the Wild Thornberries at one point, but without Eliza and Darwin, all the Wild Thornberry characters, it just seemed like one of their adventures. But it didn't have the cast, so it was weird. It makes me miss the Wild Thornberries. It's like, damn, it would be really depressing to see them now. Because I remember when they talked about the white rhino in an episode. Actually, no, I remember when they talked about the rhinos in the movie and how we should save it. And since then, 15 years later, the animal has gone extinct. So, would Walt Thornberry still be singing a soapbox about how depressing life is for animals and all that? Or maybe we need them now more than ever. But anyway, back to Hey Arnold. I would love to see if Eliza's an adult now and doing her own show, and if it was modern, would she have like a web show? That would be really actually interesting for me to watch. I know her voice actress, who's Gretchen from the Mean Girls, isn't doing much, so why not? But anyway, back to Hey Arnold. Let's see. Overall, it had its moments where, some of the adult characters were still the same, like the boarders and the parents and the grandparents and that silly teacher. And all of them were pretty much the same, but I don't know, there's something about the kids changing a little bit that just bugged me. But there is one precious, precious gem that had, if not the same voice actress, then someone very familiar, and have the same passions, goals, personality, and temperament, has been unchanged and is exactly right. Helga G. Pataki. Ugh, you darling goddess angel, baby sweet face. You mean, bully, emotionally disturbed, wonderful demon angel. Oh, Helga. You're that girl that comes from a bad family who's always angry, but deep down a poet and a scholar. A brilliant vocabulary and a thirst for blood. A romantic deep down and a take-no-shit warrior. Helga, you are all these things. Not a great role model, but still a hero. Oh, Helga, welcome back. And if you were ever shipping them as a kid, spoiler alert, they actually kiss and it's implied they get together. I mean, if just Gerald and Phoebe got together, that was always hinted well enough in past episodes, like when they held hands at fair. I thought that was cute and sweet, and it was implied but never really talked about. But no, in this one they really hold hands and it seems official, so good for them. Arnold finally appreciating Helga after everything she does. Because, she tries to make an effort to be a little more obvious about it. I appreciated that. Okay, Helga was done so right. She was done exactly right. Helga, best part of this whole thing. The rest of it, I don't know. I didn't like how Arnold wasn't more mature. He was more kid-like than his strange, almost zen self in the cartoons when I was a kid. And his voice was a little higher pitched. So, yeah, I'm not crazy about Arnold of Hey Arnold, but I am happy for him that he got his parents back. I think the way he got his parents back is almost silly and ridiculous, and I'm almost disappointed that they didn't die. But it was nice and magical, so fine. Let that be. And at the very end, Arnold's parents are being a little clingy because they finally get to be with their son after not being with him for 10 years. And they're waiting outside of school saying, what time are we going to be done? 3:30. That part was really sweet. So yeah, I think Arnold deserves that. If he's never really said he's wanted anything in the world except to hang out with his friends and, make other people feel good about themselves. He's never said he's wanted anything else in the world except for peace and kindness, and he finally gets something. And that's just really nice for him. Even if he's not exactly the Hey Arnold of my childhood, it's still something I would want Arnold to have. That sense of love and family. I don't know. Him finally just getting his parents also takes away from the love and family he learned to appreciate with the boarders, the other adults that he happens to live with. He's helped them, they've helped him. Mostly he's helped them. And at one point when they all decide that they are their own messed up version of a family that depend and rely on each other, I thought that was sweet. And I don't know, I thought it was an interesting idea of how you don't have to exactly be related to have a good friendship and good relationships. And, race and age don't really matter and all that. So, I'm a little disappointed that Arnold now has that cookie cutter mom and dad thing. But I'm hoping they fit more into the Borders' crazy schematics anyway. What's annoying is they always show those 3 guys at the Borders when there were actually 10 more. I know there was this one guy who I think was just hiding in the vents and people fed. God, if I could rewatch any episodes, I think it'd be the ones about, where they just hang out on the, boarding house. Those are all my favorite episodes. Other than the ones where Helga's always going after some crazy problem and sneaking around everybody else, whether it's Arnold, her sister, Lila. Yeah, God, Helga, you're still the best part. So yeah, Hey Arnold, if you haven't seen the original show, I highly recommend it. It is timeless, it is interesting, it is poignant, it's beautiful. The movie, watch it if you're a hardcore fan, but if you're not, then it's just really silliness. But that's my opinion, and there it is.